Part 2, The Fragile Middle. Chapter 1. New Ground. Sunday morning sunlight streamed into Evelyn's apartment, gentle and golden. She stirred awake on the couch, realizing her head was still resting on Ethan's shoulder. His arm was draped protectively around her, his breathing steady in sleep. For a moment, she didn't move. She just let herself feel it, the safety, the warmth, the strange wonder of finally. She whispered softly, "We rarely said it." Ethan stirred, eyes opening slowly. He smiled. That quiet, lopsided grin that had always undone her. Morning, morning. They sat there, both smiling nervously, as if waking from a dream. The confession still hung between them, real now, undeniable. "What happens now?" Evelyn asked, her voice almost timid. Ethan stretched, rubbing the back of his neck. "Now we stop pretending. And we figure it out." The simplicity of his words warmed her, but it also scared her. Figuring it out meant confronting all the things they'd been avoiding, the risks, the past, the fact that Ryan had just been in the picture days ago. Still, when Ethan leaned closer, brushing his lips gently against hers in a soft, careful kiss, she let the fear fade. For that moment, it was just them. But reality, as always, knocked soon after. By Monday, the glow of their weekend shifted. Texts between them were different, more hesitant, more cautious. At work, Evelyn caught herself smiling at her phone, but also worrying. What if we're moving too fast? What if we ruin everything? And Ethan, though exhilarated, felt the pressure mounting. Had chosen to stay, to risk his career move, all for her. It felt right but heavy too. By Wednesday, Ryan reached out again. "Ryan, I miss seeing you. Can we talk?" Evelyn stared at the message for a long time, her stomach tightening. She hadn't told him yet about her and Ethan, about anything. And suddenly, she realized falling in love was one thing. Facing the world with it was another. Chapter 2. Cracks in the Silence. Evelyn sat in the car on Thursday afternoon, her laptop open but forgotten. Her fingers traced the rim of her coffee cup as Ryan slid into the seat across from her. He looked hopeful, nervous even, his usual easy charm shadowed by something heavier. "Thanks for meeting me," he said quietly. She nodded, guilt twisting in her chest. She should have told him sooner. But how? Of course. He hesitated, then leaned forward. "Evie, I thought we had something. And then you pulled away. Did I do something wrong?" Her throat tightened. "No, you didn't. It's not you." Ryan's jaw flexed. "Then what is it?" She swallowed hard. "It's Ethan." The silence between them was sharp. Ryan's face shifted, surprise, disbelief, hurt. "Ethan? Your best friend Ethan?" "Yes," she whispered. We realized we've been in love with each other for a long time." Ryan leaned back, exhaling with a bitter laugh. "I should known. The way you two look at each other, it was always him, wasn't it?" Evelyn wanted to deny it, soften the blow, but she couldn't. "I'm sorry, Ryan." He nodded slowly, trying to mask the sting. "At least you're honest." He stood, leaving his coffee untouched. "I hope he's worth it." That evening, Ethan noticed Evelyn was quieter than usual when they met at her apartment. "Everything okay?" he asked, brushing her arm gently. "I told Ryan," she said softly. Ethan froze. And? He wasn't surprised, but it hurt him. She met Ethan's eyes, searching. "I hate hurting people." Ethan cupped her hand. "You didn't do anything wrong. We can't help how we feel." She nodded, but her chest still felt heavy. "It just makes this real. People will talk. People will judge. What if they think we're making a mistake?" He squeezed her hand firmly. "Then let them. We know what's real." But as the night wore on, Evelyn couldn't shake the weight of Ryan's words. It was always him, wasn't it? She wondered if Ethan was ready for the storm that was coming, because love was no longer just their secret. Chapter 3. Shadows of Doubt. Friday evening, Evelyn lingered at her desk long after her co-workers had left. The office lights hummed softly, the city glowing beyond the windows. She should have been happy she had what she'd secretly wanted for years. Ethan had chosen her, had stayed. So why did her chest ache with unease? She thought of Ryan's hurt expression, the questions she hadn't asked Ethan, the risks they both carried now. What if we ruin it? What if we're better as friends than as lovers? Her phone buzzed. Ethan, still working. Want to grab dinner? She hesitated before typing. Too tired tonight. Rain check. At his apartment, Ethan stared at her message longer than he should have. Too tired. He knew those words. Evelyn used them when she needed space. He tried to brush it off, but doubts gnawed at him. Was Ryan still in her head? Did I push her too soon? He had put everything on the line for her. His career, his certainty. And now, when he needed reassurance, she was slipping behind a wall of silence. The next morning, they met for coffee. The air between them was polite, not warm. Evelyn stirred her drink, eyes lowered. Ethan tapped his fingers on the table, restless. You've been quiet, he said finally. She glanced up, startled. So have you. I didn't want to crowd you. I didn't want to burden you, she admitted. The words landed heavier than she intended. Ethan frowned. Burden me? Evie, you could never. But maybe I already have, she whispered. You gave up Chicago for me. What if you regret it? His chest tightened. I don't regret it. Not for a second. Not now, she said. But what about later? The silence between them felt louder than the chatter around. Ethan reached across the table, but she pulled her hand back slightly, not out of rejection, but out of fear. The gesture sliced through him. Evie, he said softly, almost pleading, don't start doubting us now. Her throat closed. She wanted to believe. She wanted to throw herself into this love completely, but the shadows of doubt were louder than the promise of hope. That night, lying in bed, Evelyn stared at the ceiling, remembering his eyes at the calf hurt, uncertain, searching. And for the first time since they'd confessed, she wondered if love alone would be enough. Chapter 4. Whispers and Walls. The calf on Saturday morning was buzzing. Evelyn and Ethan sat in their usual corner, trying to fall back into the easy rhythm they'd known for years. But it wasn't the same. Every touch of their hands felt scrutinized, every shared glance louder than it used to be. It didn't take long before a familiar voice pierced their fragile bubble. Evie. She turned and saw Mara, a mutual friend from college, walking toward them. Mara's eyes flicked from Evelyn to Ethan, narrowing slightly as she noticed their closeness. Well, Mara said slowly, this is new. Evelyn forced a smile. We were just having coffee together. Sure, Mara said, her tone teasing but edged. You two always were inseparable. Guess it finally happened, huh? Ethan stiffened. It's not, Mara smirked. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. But wow, took you long enough. With a wink, she left, leaving behind a trail of implication. Evelyn sat frozen, cheeks burning. Ethan stared at his cup, jaw clenched. Later that day, Evelyn paced her apartment. She made it sound like a joke, like was some clique. She doesn't matter, Ethan said, leaning against the wall. People will talk. Let them. But what if they're right? Evelyn snapped. What if we are just a clique best friends who confuse comfort with love? Ethan's eyes darkened. Is that what you think this is? Comfort? Her throat tightened. I don't know. I'm scared, Ethan. I can't stop wondering if we're going to destroy the best thing we ever had. His voice rose, sharper than he intended. I gave up everything to be here, to be with you. And now you're doubting if it even means anything. The words hit her like a slap. Silence crashed between them. Finally, Evelyn whispered, I didn't ask you to give up Chicago. No, Ethan said, his chest heaving. But I thought we both wanted this enough that it didn't matter. Evelyn turned away, tears stinging her eyes. The city lights outside blurred into streaks of gold and white. Ethan's fists clenched at his sides. He wanted to reach for her, to undo the sharpness of his words, but pride, fear, and hurt built a wall between them. The first real wall since their confession. That night, they slept apart for the first time since crossing the line into love, and both wondered, in the quiet of their own beds, whether love was already beginning to fracture under the weight of fear. Chapter 5. The Misstep. Monday evening, Evelyn stayed late at the office. She had buried herself in work, desperate for distraction from the fight with Ethan. Around 8 p.m., Ryan appeared at her desk. He looked casual, almost hesitant, holding to take out containers. "You didn't answer my texts," he said softly, "so I figured you probably skipped dinner." "Chinese." She blinked. "Ryan, I don't think. I'm not here to complicate things," he interrupted quickly. "I just thought maybe we could eat as friends." Her chest tightened. She should have said no. She knew she should. But the ache of her argument with Ethan was still raw, and the idea of not being alone was too tempting. "Okay," she whispered. An hour later, laughter spilled quietly between them as they ate noodles from paper cartons. Ryan's presence was familiar, comforting, a reminder of what easy used to feel like. When he reached across the desk to wipe a speck of sauce from her cheek, Evelyn froze. "Ryan," he pulled his hand back immediately, guilt flashing across his face. "Sorry. Habit." She shook her head, suddenly exhausted. "I can't do this. Not even as friends. Not right now." His expression softened, resigned. "I get it." He packed up his things, lingering at the door. "But if he hurts you, Evie, remember I was here." Meanwhile, Ethan had walked to Evelyn's apartment, flowers in hand. Had spent all afternoon replaying their argument, trying to find a way to fix it. But when she didn't answer the door, and her car was gone, a pit formed in his stomach. "Where is she?" he called, but she didn't pick up. The flowers felt heavy in his hand, suddenly foolish. When Evelyn finally arrived home, exhausted, she found him waiting on the steps, rain dampening his hair. "Ethan," she breathed. "Where were you?" His voice wasn't angry, it was wounded, edged with fear. "Work," she said, too quickly. His eyes narrowed. "All night." She hesitated just long enough for him to see through her. His jaw tightened. "You were with him. Ethan, you said it was over. You said you told him." His voice cracked. "And now you're what? Having dinner together?" Her throat closed. It wasn't like that. But he had already turned, stepping into the night. "I can't do this if you're not sure, Evie. I can't." The door slammed behind him, leaving her trembling, torn between guilt and anger. For the first time, Evelyn wondered if confessing their love had been the easy part while staying in it might be the hardest thing she'd ever do.